Washington, the final Republican tax bill contains slightly more in tax relief for the middle class than did its earlier versions, but the wealthy remain the biggest winners in the plan, a nonpartisan tax analysis group concluded Monday. The GOP bill, which Republicans expect to pass through the House and Senate this week, would lower taxes for 95% of Americans in 2018, but on average the cuts available to the highest earners far exceed those of people making less, according to the Tax Policy Center. In 2018, taxpayers earning less than $25,000 would receive an average tax cut of $60, the center found. Those earning between $49,000 and $86,000 would get an average cut of about $900, those earning between $308,000 and $733,000 would receive an average cut of $13,500, and those earning more than $733,000 would receive an average cut of $51,000. In general, higher-income households receive larger average tax cuts as a percentage of after-tax income, the report said. Republicans this week plan to hold votes in the House and Senate on a final version of their tax plan, which President Donald Trump could then sign into law. The plan is a compromise between a measure the House passed in November and one the Senate passed earlier this month, though it also included some provisions that did not come from either previous version. Among the three bills, the House bill was most skewed toward the wealthy, while the final version was the least, said Tax Policy Center Director Mark Mazur, who stressed that the bill's many provisions complicate sweeping assessments of its impact. In the final version of the bill, lawmakers reduced the tax rate on income above $1 million, but they also added new benefits for low- and middle-income families seeking to take advantage of a newly expanded child tax credit. The Senate bill was a little less regressive than the House bill, and this appears to be a little less regressive than the Senate bill, Mazur said. But, overall, the conference agreement is more regressive than current law. As written, the bill becomes less generous for individuals in later years, as many of the tax benefits for individuals have set expiration dates. By 2027, 53% of Americans would pay more in taxes, according to the TPC. Republicans have argued that future lawmakers will intervene to stop the cuts from expiring, noting that many of the tax cuts signed into law by President George W. Bush were initially set to expire but later extended by Congress and President Barack Obama. The bill would also make large cuts to the estate tax, a levy on inheritances charged only to the very wealthy. Under the plan, a couple could pass on as much as $22 million in assets without paying the tax. The backbone of the GOP plan is a reduction in the tax rate paid by corporations to 21%, far below the existing 35% rate. That rate cut is not set to expire. The plan has been controversial since its inception and is unanimously opposed by congressional Democrats, who have derided it as a giveaway to the wealthy and corporations. Republicans argue the measure will spur economic growth, increasing employment and wages and bolstering the fortunes of the middle class, although the administration's growth projections have far outstripped those of nonpartisan analysts.